There's no question schools have been affected by the coronavirus situation and not knowing whether they were going to be teaching on campus or remotely. I mean, in the past, it was all basically on campus. The classrooms and the faculty all communicated with phone systems that required on-site hardware and legacy circuits, and they used their mobile phones independently to be able to give themselves the freedom to move around. Today, the classroom is online. Okay, well, voice chat, video apps, any device, anywhere. This is the type. This is where we're at. So on-site legacy hardware and phone lines are all gone, and now it's all cloud-based solutions over the internet for the most part. Because if you break it down, 80% of them don't even want a phone. 89% believe they can accomplish more with team collaboration, which is video. 57% really believe they need to increase their investment in cloud communications, and 90-something percent want prefer to work from anywhere on any device. I mean, that's just how we are today. But the question is, are your students, parents, and teachers having issues with your current online solution? I mean, it all starts with how many programs do these students have to log into to talk and communicate with these teachers? There's several of them, and then how they do phones. I mean, generally that's all separate and independent. When you break it down, most of the time, they're using a legacy phone system to make and receive external phone calls, and they're using something like Zoom, Teams, or Meet just for video and screen sharing. So they may have an NEC, they may have, Cisco. A lot of school districts have Cisco. ShoreTel's another one's pretty common, as well as Mitel. I mean, it doesn't matter. They're independent. You got the phone system and you've got video and screen sharing. At the end of the day, is the solution that you're using for talk, chat, and video, is it all secure? Is it all reliable? Or are you looking to get more for less for your school? If so, I think we can help. Brookside Cloud and Connectivity Solutions is an Austin company that since 2002 has helped people with phones, video, contact centers, and fiber. We have decades of experience with phone systems and video and contact centers and how they all integrate and connect. We're a vendor agnostic broker with access to all the major UCaaS providers, including the top carriers. So everything from 8x8, Mitel, and Microsoft Teams to Zoom, Nextiva, Dialpad. We have it. We can sell any of those and get pricing and demos. And then from the carrier standpoint, based on your address, there's always going to be somebody that's got the best price for fiber, and we're good at finding that. So we can just be a single point of contact from solution design to demos to contracts and on to implementation. When we look at a lot of stuff that we work with, we provide complete solutions that are more secure and more reliable and less points of failure than what a lot of people are using. And we can combine things to reduce the complexity and the number of things people have to log into, with apps that provide voice, chat, video, and sharing on your phone, tablet, or personal computer. So we actually take care of everything from, like I said, from solution design, contracts, and implementation. But it all starts with what's best for you and your district, private cloud or public cloud. When we start talking about private and public cloud, one of the only companies that does both is Mitel. They offer both. In each situation, the users can choose to either use the Mitel manufactured hardware phones or their software phones, whichever is easier for them to be able to communicate. So the software phone is going to have unified communications and team collaboration. So you got voice and chat and video conferencing and all the tools that you need. But, how do we deliver it? So there's multiple options to deliver it with Mitel, including on-site. So we have hardware that can go on-site. We have your private cloud where we use VMware or Hyper-V and put it in your own data center. Or there's actually MyCloud Connect, which is a cloud-based solution that allows you to connect from anywhere and just requires internet access. So once again, we talk about hardware phones, software phones. It all comes together. But the big thing about Mitel is the fact that they offer multiple options for delivery. Whether it's in the cloud, your private cloud or a public cloud. So the public cloud one is MyCloud Connect. It was developed by ShoreTel, before Mitel bought them. Very, very scalable, very cost-effective solution that gives you, everything for secure talk, chat, and video, all in one app. We start talking about, it'll work on any device from Android, Apple, Microsoft, and has end-to-end encryption, so you don't have to worry about people, watching what you're doing or recording stuff. It works very well. You just log in, and next thing you know, you've got a video conference going on. It uses about a fourth of the bandwidth that you use with Zoom or Teams, just because it's just much more efficient. Mitel has Revolution, which is a mass notification solution that helps you notify people the right way when it matters most on all devices. This is perfect for any type of emergencies that the school may have, so you keep people safe regardless of location. And it's designed to be adaptable. I mean, it's a really neat, it's basically for lockdown of buildings and things and campus environments. school bells and schedules and daily announcements can all be done, but it's a neat solution that's cloud-based that you can add, to what you're doing with Mitel. So Mitel's, really got a good solution here for that to help you make notifications simple and easy. And then Mitel is on the DIR, so they're relatively, it's very easy to get a Mitel solution and get it approved. And meet the Texas state, requirements for purchasing. Sourcewell is a co-op that also provides financing as well as the ability to purchase through a co-op where they've already pretty much done the whole solution, got the pricing down to where it needs to be. So that's really what we would look at probably for a premise-based solution or a private cloud solution, or even a public solution, a public cloud solution. So, but what is the best cloud-based solution today? I mean, there's multiple options depending on what you're, what are you using today? If you're using Microsoft, Microsoft Teams, I mean, that works out real well. 8x8 for Teams will allow you to be able, for around $10, be able to, voice enable Teams. So the Teams use the team client. They never leave Teams, and they, basically they have a phone, Polycom usually is what we normally put, but that's a very inexpensive solution to be able to use Teams on all your apps and then have 8x8 in the background. Zoom is another option, obviously, and with Zoom Phone, you just add the phone capabilities to Zoom. If you've already got an account, we kind of step back, take a look at it, and see what's best for you as it relates to Zoom. If you're a Google shop, it's real simple to use, G Suite for education. Google Meet is a really good product that, once again, uses about a fourth of the bandwidth that you get with Zoom or Microsoft Teams, so it's very efficient. And then 8x8 has their own app called Work, which also allows you to chat, call, meet, and share on any device anywhere. And it's very cost effective as well. So when you look at these options and kind of lay them all out side by side, you've got Mitel, 8x8, and Zoom. But basically they're all, there's ways to purchase them without having to go through the whole bid process. They all have end-to-end encryption, Chrome plugins. I mean, they're pretty common across the board. You've got 8x8 voice if you're going to use Microsoft Teams. You can also use IntelliPeer SIP trunks, redundant SIP trunks with IntelliPeer and Microsoft Teams. And of course, G Suite for education, once again, is another solution that we just basically add stuff onto if you're already using it. All these multiple options for acquisition. You're talking about the DIR with the state of Texas, Sourcewell. Pepin is another co-op purchasing solution that is used, as well for 8x8. They're also 8x8 is about right at the, almost ready to go with the DIR. But if you have to go DIR, Mitel is the best solution out there. Like I said, Pepin is, really good. It's been serving schools, public agencies since 1982, and they have a really good, program in place and really good pricing, the SLED pricing from 8x8, which starts around $10 a user. Now, internet connectivity is no longer a luxury for schools. It's essential. And so, one of the big things that you have to worry about is, does your school have enough bandwidth for all this video and voice stuff? Video and voice collaboration, I mean, these apps, they are real time and they really don't like latency. That can only contribute to voice quality and drop calls. So when you do have these problems, is it your internet provider? Is it your data network? And is it in-house, or is it the UCaaS provider, the guy providing the cloud-based voice? It really doesn't matter, because what we're there for is to make sure that we take responsibility when there are issues and get you back on track. And a lot of times it all rolls back into the bandwidth. So connectivity is another one of our specialties where we help you find the best fiber, coax, Sd-Wan, SIP, PRI, and even analog circuits, for your schools. So, the benefits to moving to fiber is dedicated versus, not dedicated. Residential versus enterprise business class is kind of what it is, because enterprise is going to have, service level agreements and zero latency. So you've got video and voice is going to work like a champ, and you can always upgrade it with a phone call if things need to happen. So we work with we get wholesale pricing really from all the major carriers, from AT&T and Grande and Spectrum to Lumen to, Frontier, Suddenlink. And then a lot of times we'll work with companies like Bullseye and ACC, which are, basically aggregators that have really good price, do their own pricing, do their own customer service. That's US based, and that works out very well. So at the end of the day, we take care of everything from solution design and contracts to implementation. So another part of this, though, is to make sure, like I said, that the students and teachers can always communicate. So SD-WAN means you have always on internet connectivity. And the way it works is if you're cruising along, you're using fiber, and something happens to your fiber, it's going to automatically fail over to the 4G LTE network. So the remote schools are always going to have internet access as long as the mobile network works. So I mean, if your fiber network goes down and the mobile networks, then that means something really bad has happened. But as I said before, internet connectivity is no longer a luxury for these schools. It's essential, and so it all comes back around to, your cost per user, when you start looking at this, it's like I've done this for several schools, but your on-site phone system costs are going to be your PBX hardware, your software assurance, any kind of maintenance you've got going on, and then all the cost of all your telecom circuits and stuff, and then your audio and web conferencing and what you're doing there, because it's usually third party video and team collaboration like Zoom. Those are things that are all things that sometimes cost a little bit, or they may cost nothing, but it might be just a convenience issue. But how much IT resources are used to manage the phones? And then what are you paying for internet access today? Is it the best possible deal? Because pricing is always changing and it's going down on pretty much all this stuff. So cloud-based solutions allow you to just get seat licenses, starting around $10 to $12. The phones you can either lease or rent or buy. You don't even need phones today though, because everything can be done with the apps. You look at what there's no cost per minute usage charges. There's no toll-free charges, and the internet access is usually saved. So when you add up everything to get your current monthly cost, you get your phone lines, your phone system, your IT resources, your apps, your web chat, and your emergency notification systems if you're paying for one now. And you say, okay, how much am I spending on all this? And you take that monthly cost, divide it by the number of users, and that will get you to your cost per user. And that's kind of where we start. Now, the other reason is, why would we want to move your users to the cloud for communications? Well, it's a couple of reasons, minimal upfront cost, and it usually pays for itself through savings when you compare that total cost per user. Because a lot of people are spending more than they realize on this stuff. But, it also reduces complexity and saves money by getting rid of all the legacy server hardware and circuits that you got at the school. All that stuff's gone. Just need internet access. Consolidate the collaboration tools so you're not having to log into everything. So you've got less logins and passwords, which really helps the users and IT for administration. Integration to key business apps like Teams and G Suite and Zoom all makes it a lot easier for the end user. You pay for what you need on a per user basis and always have the latest features and capabilities when you're in the cloud. And then you got one number to support everything for service, which you adding and deleting users, they'll do everything for you. It's all rolled into one price. So as opposed to having your phone vendor come out and charge you for adds, moves, and changes, that's all included in the monthly fee. And so it all meets the business continuity and security goals with enterprise connectivity using fiber and SD-WAN. So, at the end of the day, the most important thing is how do we get these kids to get, because the failing rate right now is just through the roof just because of all these remote activities. So having the right solution can really contribute to making sure that more kids make it. Because right now today, it's not heading in the right direction. So where you really want to start is you take a look at our website at brooksideux.com. It's really more of an information portal, as I say up here. So you've got your home, you've got voice, video, contact center, Microsoft Teams, Gartner's Magic Quadrants, government, education, and nonprofit, and connectivity tabs. So when you look at them, you can see under the cloud-based communication providers, all the companies that we work with, or some of them, all the companies that we kind of integrate with. Here's a little information on the phones that usually come with it. And then you get into, product overviews and videos on how it works on mobile apps and tablets and videos. And it's all there. There's Mitel, Nextiva, and Zoom. If you want to see how Zoom phone works and all that, what phones come with it, all this stuff are good links into short videos that show you what you need to know about it. The same with video, it's all the same format. I did this video, I did this website myself. So you see, these are the people you're used to. And if you already have some of these, we just help you figure out a better way to integrate everything and to reduce complexity and help the users have less logins and things of that nature. So then you take a look at government and nonprofit. That's where you get into all the different ways that you can acquire it, depending on which product you go with. There's multiple ways to do it, including the DIR, as well as some multiple purchasing co-ops, right? So we've got some schools and we've got some Hayes County and fire departments, and these people have all used these programs and found them to be very helpful. When you start looking at connectivity, like I believe you saw on the other slide, here's all the carriers that we work with. There's a diagram that tells you how SD-WAN works and one that tells you how SIP trunks work, redundant SIP trunks from IntelliPeer. So if you have hardware on site and you want to get away from lines, we can help you with that as well. And then I think the kill thing is up in the top left corner, you see where we've got all the different social media. So, we've got a YouTube channel, which is pretty cool. We've got Twitter, we've got LinkedIn, we've got Facebook, all these things are ways that we help keep people up to speed on what's happening as far as in the world of business communications and collaboration. So once again, the name of the company is Brookside Cloud and Connectivity Solutions, and we're at www.brooksideux.com. We'd really like to work with you and see if we could help your district save money and reduce complexity.